So you guys are all going back into the car. And Silas, you know those locations that I just listed off. So 2 libraries, a historical society, town hall, and 2 newspapers. You know those are all options. One of the newspapers obviously is the one that Alistair and Johnny work for, so they also know like, oh, this newspaper would have some information about these types of things. Philip, you probably wouldn't really know anything except for the Peabody Institute Library. You would think of that as like your military library, so you would know that one. But that's kind of like what you guys are thinking about right now if you wanted to get more information.
Yeah, I think Silas, he shares those, and he he tells you guys he's new to town, so he doesn't really know exactly where to go. But if you guys have any local information, this should be the time to share it. He kind of also says that he's heading around bringing you guys into like the investigation as well, because he's like,
because it's 40s and a 12-year-old can definitely be on a criminally.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's already smoking.
Yeah, right.
Crazy, yeah.
We are the worst.
Yeah.
Well, so, Silas, what's the next course of action for us?
Well, normally I'd go collect information. I'd go back to my boss and we'd get information and we'd run a full-scale investigation. I don't feel right with that mental hospital, but I can't do anything until I get a warrant and the ability to freely search it. So
I know Johnny Boy and I, we work for the newspaper. That we can ask some of them local folks. What about you there, Philip? You know anything that you maybe get some info around those places?
You know, we don't necessarily need a warrant to search if we kind of find out what the specs of that place is. You know, my military background is a little bit of that engineering, so I could probably discern what we need to find, or at least where we need to look. If we found some of them records, maybe we go to the library.
You know, he's got a point there. I'm wondering, Philip, are you able to see like the arboretum? Can you like see where it's at? Maybe we can get in there.
If I had a schematic of the building, I could probably determine where that auditorium may be.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's maybe we can start at the town hall, or maybe even the Peabody Institute, as I know they work with the military base.
Would it be better if we split up a bit, collect information and come together?
Yes, this is not like D&D where it is okay to split the party. So that's totally
picture shows to know it's not a good idea.
All right. Well, Alistair, you and Johnny go back to your news station and you gather some information for me. All right.
Want to go for a ride, Johnny boy?
Ask around.
Let's go.
I would.
We drive back into town. Park at the sheriff's station, and everything's like within a walking distance. So I tell them, hey, we can use this as a home base. My sheriff's office.
Makes perfect sense.
All right, Johnny, let's go for a ride in my Lincoln Continental. Let's go.
So you and Johnny get in the car and you start up the engine and you literally move forward like 10 feet, like not even pulling out on the street. You just park closer to your office and then you get out and you go into the newspaper office.
I would do that.
It's also the 1940s where it's totally okay to just hang out with the 12-year-old and nobody bats an eye. Nobody
smoking, just chilling.
Nobody's like, that's kind of weird and creepy. They're just like, yep, he just hangs out.
Just hanging out with 12-year-old.
Johnny, let me get another cigarette. He's got the cigarettes now.
So you go into the newspaper room, and there is a receptionist, and she's chain smoking. Everybody's smoking now. Like it's chain smoking. This is a newspaper room. They're just on the phone and they're smoking, and they're like, What do you got for me? Okay, put it down, and then they just keep on chain smoking, and just cigarettes are flying everywhere.
It's just
And
stressful. Everyone's screaming. The world's
I was
ringing.
gonna-
and it is like, what has Japan done now? Okay, and then they're running it down, and so how's the war effort? Oh, what's the fortunate on the coupons? This is crazy. All the way through December. Oh my god! And then I have another phone, and then there's more cigarettes are coming out, and so it's pretty chaotic in here. And you're also like, why is this newsroom so busy? This is a small town, and apparently, of 15 people, they all work at the newsroom. And so, but you see Phyllis, she's at the front, and she's not taking phone calls though. She's on break, you can tell, and she's the phone is ringing a bunch, but she's not transferring calls right now. She's just smoking. And Phyllis, she's like, Alistair, look who decided to finally show up. You just awfully ran off here early this morning, and now you're back. It was like, you gotta get your reports ready for tomorrow morning. The news never stops,
Listen, Phyllis, I'll get my reports to you. Don't you worry about it, all right? I'm business, all right?
And Phyllis is like, you don't need to get your reports to me. You need to get it to Mr. Cromwell. And he's like, I don't read your shit. And she just keeps on going. And she's just still chain smoking.
Mr. Cromwell, I'll get him his paper. Don't worry about it. We got questions. Mr. Johnny Boy is here. His grandpappy. He needs some help.
Fucking.
It's my dad, my uncle, grandpappy.
He's a fucking newsie, but he has no idea.
Takes zero effort to embellish his stories because he doesn't know anything anyway.
Please, Mr. Alice, this is New Mexico, not Alabama.
Phyllis takes a long drag of her cigarette, and she's kind of goes and looks at Johnny and just blows the smoke directly into Johnny's face, and it's it's the 40s, it doesn't matter. And Phyllis is like,
flirting.
Well, Johnny, I am on my break, but if it's for you, kid, I'll help you out. And she says, what do you need, son?
Well, I suppose I'll get started. I need to get some newspapers as far back as I can on the asylum out there.
On the asylum, okay. So let's have you. Let's start looking for. You're looking for newspaper articles, so we're gonna make a library use roll. And so let me know how that goes.
Let me know.
Johnny Boy, while you're rolling, make sure you have a cigarette in your mouth. You look cool when it helps you roll better.
My God.
Should have gave Wicked this power.
That's a 74.
So did
Dang.
you fail?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you would like, there is something in Call of Cthulhu called pushing the roll. So you'll have to tell me verbally how you are pushing the roll. So let's say that it's you're trying to look through newspaper articles and you're not seeing anything. So what you decide to do is maybe you're climbing up the top shelf and you're kind of precariously perched trying to find more newspapers or something like that. That is how you can push the roll, and you can re-roll again. You don't have to do that. There's just that is an option in this game. So
can I help Johnny?
you can make a roll also.
That might be better because my library is a 20.
Okay.
I'll probably Johnny Boy, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for newspapers on the asylum, mister.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right, I'll go ahead and move out of the way, Johnny. Look,
grown man, you can reach the shelves all the way up there. Alistair.
Yeah, Johnny,
just right up there. Good point. Let me take a look.
What's Johnny's physical size again? Because I remember it was pretty fucking high.
He's pretty tall.
He's a big ass boy.
He's big for a 12-year-old, okay.
You're rolling library use.
Yeah, he's still a 12-year-old, but he's big. Okay.
Do I
Yeah,
roll the
he's
200?
He's big for a 12-year-old who grew up during the Depression.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, and what was your library use skill?
24. My library skill was.
Wait.
Pretty sure that was
Forgot to
more
use the
than
minus.
enough. My library use is 60.
Okay, so is that more than any of the percentages in the fifth and the half columns? That is right. So you had so next to your library use, there's like two numbers. What are those numbers?
30 and 12.
Okay, and you got a 24, right?
Yeah.
So that means that you got a major success. I can't think of the right word, but you basically yeah. So because of that, you're going to find two pieces of information that I'm about to post. So let me go to the handouts.
These birds in this music really like it's convincing. I keep looking up inside.
You're like, what are these birds doing in this house? So you, because you got such a success, you actually find two newspaper articles that you think are interesting that I will post. And then I'm just going to read them aloud for everybody. But obviously, Philip and Silas are not here. So no, they can just. Danvers Asylum Superintendent builds amphitheater for patients. Workmen at Danvers State Lunatic Asylum broke ground today for the establishment of a small amphitheater to be enjoyed by the patients. Residents will enjoy quiet conversation space, poetry readings, and musical performances in an idyllic outdoor setting next to the asylum's reservoir. A beautiful place where water and earth meet, says Superintendent Dr. James Berger. Asylum resident and chief laborer Andrew McBride added that his team had some difficulty breaking up and removing a large granite disc bearing an artistic design. Set into the hillside where the amphitheater is to be built, the asylum's prior superintendent, Dr. William Shine, had the disc placed on the side of the Hawthorne Hill. Dr. Shine, a world traveler, is said to have believed that the granite disc was a symbol of good luck for the asylum. Local residents questioned the expense of building an amphitheater for mentally ill patients. However, Dr. Berger defends the creation of the amphitheater, explaining, "It is important to remember that we must look to the betterment of all of our citizens, especially those deemed too delicate or damaged to be a part of the ebb and flow of the greater world." And then the next article is from prior to that. And so Shine retires from Danvers Asylum. It says Salem, but it should be Alamogordo. Native Dr. Shine, Dr. William Shine, veteran superintendent at the State Lunatic Asylum at Danvers, is to retire after 25 years of service. Known for his great erudition, kindly demeanor, and progressive treatments, Dr. Shine is credited with a renewal of the facility for the betterment of its patients. Prior to his 1890 arrival, the asylum had suffered from a poor reputation and staff morale was low. Patient accident and mortality rates were among the highest in the country. Superintendent Shine could occasionally appear as idiosyncratic as the institution he so successfully stewarded. Longtime readers may recall the complaints when Dr. Shine, then less than a year into his tenure, had a sculpted granite disc placed at the edge of the property's reservoir at taxpayer expense. Dr. Shine was then, as he is now, adamant that the decorative disc remained unmolested, even as the superintendent takes the leave of the institution. Regardless of his idiosyncrasies, Dr. Shine's ability to transform the asylum into a success story over his long stewardship will be his enduring legacy. A world traveler to exotic locales during his early years, Dr. Shine declares that he now looks forward to a quiet retirement in his native city of Salem. The doctor has stated his intention to bequeath his personal and professional papers to Salem Hospital. Regarding his successor, Dr. James Berger, Dr. Shine has high praise. Dr. Berger will no doubt be a sincere protector of the afflicted and a good master of the institution, Shine adds. I sincerely hope that Dr. Berger will leave a few old stones unturned and instead focus his attention on the asylum's bright future. We at the newspaper wish Dr. Shine a long and happy retirement. So that is what you guys found amongst your newspaper clippings.
Hey, you see these, Johnny boy, these newspaper clippings?
Sure do, mister.
We're talking about some weird old shrine things. I wonder if that's important. And they're talking about that whole asylum thing. Or not asylum,
about
the
stones?
auditorium. Nah, that's stone things, yeah.
Stones and shrines, the amphitheater that you keep bringing up.
Yeah, that one.
Don't know how I could do it for our uncle, though. Don't know what it has to do for our uncle, though.
That's what I was wondering. Do you think your uncle knows anything? Does he knows this weird stuff? He's talking about some truth, Johnny boy. What truth is this?
Do you think they're hiding something over there?
I think they're hiding something, Johnny boy. I just
You
don't
should
know
be
what
detective
yet.
duo.
All right, Johnny boy. I don't know if we've got enough information. What do you think? You think we should go share this with the other guys?
I think we should get some more input from the other two. See what they have to say about this.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny boy. It's a pretty good idea. All right, let's go ahead and head out. Here's another smoke for you, and let's go ahead and see what those boys are doing over there.
This kid's gonna be dead by 8.
Johnny's pocketing all these. He's gonna go sell them to other kids.
Yeah, Johnny.
He's an entrepreneur. He's like, I'm not on supply, boys.
Johnny's getting some strong lungs. He'll be fine. I'm building up his lung strength. He's gonna be a long distance runner. And so I guess unless Johnny boy's got any objections, we're probably gonna head on over to Mr. Silas and Mr. Philip.
Philip, did you want to go to the Peabody Institute, or did you want to go? I was thinking, my guy's not good at like reading stuff. I assume he's better at least like talking. So I was thinking the town hall, but you can go to the.
Okay.
We can go to the Peabody Institute if that's where you felt like you would get more information out of.
I want to find the place. Yeah, I want to find the place that, because I mean, since the taxpayers had to pay for it, and I guess we could go to town hall to try to pull the permits and things for it, because I'm sure they still had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking.
Do that.
I think Silas is looking for like a warrant.
We don't even have to go together. Yeah, you could go there, and I'll go Peabody.
He's looking for like some higher up institute people to like get some of that information. Is what Philip or Silas is doing. He's looking to try to get some stuff rolling so he can do some more investigation. The bureaucracy side of being a policeman.
Yeah. Right. No physical reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can go to wherever.
What do I need to roll for that?
So if you've gone to the town hall, you can just, go right in. You're the sheriff, right? So the town hall is empty right now. Usually it's just kind of like a meeting hall room, but there are like city records in the back. So Silas, you make your way to the back, and you go in, and you can either make an accounting or a library use check.
Both are really bad. A 16 though. That actually.
That's shit.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you
yeah.
okay, so basically you're open up the filing cabinet, and you're like, wow, this is nice and organized, just real straight to the point. And you're kind of looking, and it's kind of like talking about the city projects, like, oh, new post office, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, here we go, Danvers State Lunatic Asylum, and you just pull out a folder. And in that folder, it just discloses kind of like basic facts about Danvers. So it was erected in 1876, and it cost $1.5 million. They did renovate an old like mission to do that. So you don't really know why it cost that much, though, because you're like, that place is pretty janky for $1.5 million. Yeah. It's huge, though. It's 200 acres. And it can hold like almost 3,000 patients. So it has like a listing of the staff. It has the financial reports. It has a whole bunch of bureaucratic details about like who is running it, like the superintendent is Dr. Berger and things like that. So that's what you find out.
I said list of staff, and then what else was there?
List the financial reports. So that it is like how much money essentially it's making or losing. And then like just the bureaucratic details. So like who's running
the like blueprints of it. Is it like how anything of city ordinance, stuff like that? That's
There are not any blueprints, but there is information about the amphitheater auditorium getting erected. So you do know where that is located on the grounds. It has a description of how that it is essentially like the building was kind of like this in a U shape around, and then the amphitheater is in the middle courtyard. So you kind of know where it went in based off a description that was found in the paperwork.
Yeah, I tucked that folder into my briefcase.
Perfect.
And then Philip, did you want to try searching the Peabody Institute?
Yeah.
Perfect. So there's a couple different things you can check. The Peabody Institute has a ton of different information. So you can either do an accounting, a library use, if you can do history, just kind of like whatever you're thinking about. So if you want, there's either information you can have on accidents here, or if you just want information on the asylum itself, or newspaper articles, you can also find here as well.
So
just know that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I will use the library use as the highest.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that one.
Use a. Dang, nothing impressive, but I still got a 69, which it beats my 70, so I made it.
Hell yeah.
And it's a
69.
So that's
69. Nice.
Extra
My
square
wife.
there.
Perfect.
Nice.
So with
I wasn't invented yet. It's 40s. Everything's missionary.
with the library use, instead of going the newspaper route, you actually were walking around the Peabody Institute, and you're kind of just looking at the shelves, kind of just thinking to yourself, like, okay, like, where would I find information about this? I know, obviously, the newspapers, but, you know, Alistair and Johnny are kind of already checking that. So you're kind of, like, wandering the history section. And from there, you find some information about the history of that land. And so the land once occupied by the asylum was the homestead of Judge John Hawthorne. And he was the lead magistrate, actually, while the Spanish were in charge of this area. And he knows, they know that he was a very harsh on the Native American population, the Mescalero Apache Indians who were in this area. And he actually essentially like enslaved and killed a good chunk of the tribe before they were sent off to the reservation. Hawthorne was one of the only judges who did not apologize for their actions of basically murdering this part of this indigenous population of the native Spaniards who came over here. So there is quite a bit of bad blood on this ground. So if you want, you can actually you can look up more information on Judge Hawthorne or the ground. You can report back. So yeah.
So I don't think well, I want to look up more on the grounds for that area. So
Okay.
if it was, owned prior to that, I want to know more about what it used to be used for before we,
So
put
you
the $1 billion thing on.
if you want to do this time, let's do a history check.
I don't even have a number for that, but
That means your history is you have to basically beat 5% if you don't have a number
Yep.
in there. So you have to
Okay.
get point. Yeah,
History.
you have to get 4. Good luck.
shit. I got 7.
Oh,
I didn't get 4. I got 7. Wait.
You could push
Could I-
it.
You can spin 3 luck.
Yeah.
And 3 luck. I got 85.
I think
Yeah.
Fuck
Basically
yeah.
nothing.
he's doing it. He's sending it.
I'm just gonna do current with yeah.
You got it for a
So
roll
you
like
spend
that.
3. Yeah, right. I wasn't far off at all. Hell yeah. So
Yeah.
starting
Sign.
85, I went to current and put 82. I'm just
Okay.
keeping a tally of that. Right.
Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. So
Still bitch.
you are looking through. You're still in the history section, and you're looking through, and you're seeing information about, the Mescalero Apache, but you're not really seeing much. They didn't really interested in the history of the area before Judge Hawthorne came, right? That's kind of, when they started recording history, so to speak. But what you do find is more information about the asylum itself after it's been established. There are recent articles that from newspapers that report that the asylum is overcrowded and that the residents, many unstable and indignant citizens of New Mexico are sent there. So you're kind of like, well, this is run-of-the-mill stuff. Like, of course, it's an asylum. But then you hear, like, there's kind of like a passage in a book about the history of Alamogordo, and it's talking about that there's this dark reputation surrounding the asylum soon after its construction, and that during the construction of the asylum, there was a high number of accidents and a bunch of patient fatalities. So there was no official or conclusive investigation related to the early years of trouble, but just that there was a sordid history when it was being built, essentially. There was a lot of blood involved.
Okay. Yeesh. All right. Yeah, and I will gather up my notes and head back to rendezvous with the other party members.
Basically, all we're doing is just backing our cars up.
Just walk out.
Get in, back it up, and then get out.
We're going to different parking lots.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you converge back at the Sheriff's Department. So if you want to take it from there.
Yeah, and I kind of lay out my, it's already, as you guys get there, actually, it's laid out like the classic, strings attached to like all sorts of things. He's like nailed down paperwork. He's been like, you've only been gone for a couple hours, but it looks like he's been here for like, all night, 20 hours. His hair's in a mess. He's got coffee just running in the background. He's just like staring at this wall. He's like put like strings attached to like this person's attached to this and this and this. This is the information that he has. And he's like, oh, nice you guys to join us. And it's him and his deputy. His name's William Jones.
Hey there, coppers. Pleasure to meet you. The name's Alistair.
He's been sending William to go fetch him coffee back and forth, just over and over. And he tells you guys to all get some. He tells William, "Hey, William, get him some coffee." And
Well, hey there, Philip. You get anything good? Because we got some pretty juicy stuff.
Let's see what you got.
All right, Johnny Boy, let him know.
He's fucking.
Okay, well, guess I can talk about. We found some papers talking about the amphitheater and a rock. They said they buried a peculiar rock underneath the theater, I think.
Yeah, some weird rock.
And this time, though, when you have the newspaper, you unfold it and you realize that there is actually a picture with it. In the photograph, you see that there's these laborers kneeling by this like pond's edge, which is at like the back of the amphitheater, and they're holding like pieces of obelisks that are a part of this like large stone disc. And as you look at this obelisk, you kind of realize that it's forming like a symbol shape. If somebody would like to make a Cthulhu mythos roll at this time to investigate that, they can.
Even though
They have any mythos?
0-0.
So I have to like read this because I'm confused about why.
Yeah, I thought that we all started 0 for that.
Can't put anything in there. Well, my credit rating's pretty high. Does that count? I could run a credit check on the picture graph to see if it,
Give me 1 second to look this up because there's like not good information about
Hey, it's
why.
Johnny Boy. Was that picture there before?
Not that I remember.
The heck? I'm gonna take a look at that. Now grab it from Johnny. What is it?
Page.
Hey, Mr. Phillip. Does anything in your news thing match up with this thing?
Mature.
What is this rock? There's no records in the history of this rock. What does this look like? What are they doing with this?
What about you, Mr. Copper?
Silas is the name, and he like looks over at it, and yeah, he stares at it, and he's drinking black coffee, and it's just fucking terrible. It's like Folgers. Y'all can smell it too, like just the smell of sludge.
Okay, so for this Cthulhu Mythos roll, Johnny and Silas have both earned 2 Cthulhu Mythos points. One from Johnny from encountering the snake, and then the pictures in blood you saw of that Lovecraftian creature. Same with Silas seeing the creature in the water, while Alistair and Philip have 1 point from just seeing the blood drawing of it.
When I put that in, it moved my max sanity to 97. Is that supposed to?
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Oh yeah, it did move it. Mine changed too.
That's okay. I think go ahead because you earn these points essentially. So it's like because you have, I think because you've gained more understanding of Cthulhu, you've essentially earned more sanity.
No, I think it means the more you learn about it, you can only become so sane. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is right. I said it backwards. Yes. No, you said it. You said it right. So, to make so somebody, if they could make a Cthulhu Mythos roll, it is still out of 100, so you only have a 2% chance of getting this roll, but it's possible.
Or use a lot of luck.
I'm close. A 98. Is that pretty close?
What? No, that is the opposite.
I know.
But so all of you kind of look at it and you're like, I have no idea. If anybody would like to make an occult roll, they can also do that.
Forget.
I know a little bit about the occult. Let me go ahead.
Mr. Alistair,
you
think this has you think this has anything to do with the chupacabras?
As Johnny says, Chupacabra, the police officer again phases out of the ether and is like, I told you boys to stop talking about the Chupacabra. I'm about to list you as communists and throw you out into the brick, if you hear me. So don't say it again. And then he fades back into the shadows.
I got 58 and I have 45. So I think I failed.
What did you get?
58.
Okay.
And I have 45 occults.
Yeah, so you did fail.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So you guys have no clue. You're just like, it looks kind of funky. But yeah, so if you want to keep on sharing your discoveries with each other.
Yeah. I talk about just like the building, how big it is, give them the information on like where I believe the auditorium's going to be located, the financial reports. I give them all the, like, I have like the board, the, private eye, investigator, detective board in the background. And so that's what all my information is. It's like financial reports. These people date back to these people. This is who is on staff. A lot of really organized stuff for like, only a few hours, but Silas is jacked on coffee right now. And the coffee back then is just like extra strong. It's, dirt pretty much, and caffeine. And I slipped a little cocaine in there because, it's
because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
At the police station.
The 40s, yeah.
The 40s, so. legal. It's good to do.
As you guys are, oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell. So when I was looking for the history, they definitely had a spotty reputation with their OSHA compliance. There was numerous counts of patient fatalities in the beginning of this. You think that has anything to do with the spookies going on in that area?
What do you mean fatalities?
Well, apparently this Hawthorne fella was kind of a less than stand-up individual when it came to, the ethical treatment of others.
Are you telling me they're killing people over there?
Well, they definitely took a few liberties with, serve and protect when they were relocating the natives.
Oh, they got the natives. They got any
So
Japs in there?
Not around this time. This was when this place first started, so I'm gonna wonder if they. You think they got that voodoo on them? Maybe got that gree-gree?
I ain't never heard no gree before. Is that some of that jazz cabbage them kids are smoking nowadays?
Jazz cabbage.
We've been outlawing that.
Yes.
Some of that devil's lettuce. Now listen here. You talking about them fatalities and them crazy folks over there talking about some auditorium, they killing people. Think there's any correlation?
They definitely had to cover it up some way. What, did you guys find anything that I can... Did you bring the newspaper clippings with you?
Yeah. Johnny
Yeah,
boy,
we
give him
got
the news clippings.
There you go, mister.
Thank you, Johnny.
Got 'em right here.
So right here in this one, this kind of coincides with that picture we found, but that old Shine says he hopes that Dr. Berger will leave some old stones unturned. You think that's referencing anything specific?
Is it the same stones in them picture?
I mean, it'd be hard to tell for sure without doing some more investigating. Do we know where this stone is?
I think them. No, we don't. Do we? Silas, you figure out where them stones is?
This other newspaper clipping over here says that they placed it on Hawthorne Hill Drive.
Oh, where's that at? That's close by, isn't it?
Gotta be.
Is Hawthorne Drive close by?
Hawthorne Drive would be like at the, I would just say it's at the top of the asylum. So I would just say like the amphitheater, the stone is behind the amphitheater. You would probably be able to tell like by the picture.
Figure that out.
Like you would be able to like, this looks like it's at top of the mesa. I think you would know. I think as you guys are looking at that picture, and you're trying to gather more information about where it looks like it is, you're taking a really hard look at the laborers. And if somebody makes an education and knowledge roll, you might be able to recognize that.
Education and what?
And it's called a knowledge roll, but you use your education.
I can roll that.
It's got a stout education.
Very high. So mine's very high. This is like a 34.
So with that success, you look at it and he looks much younger. But Silas, you kind of tap on the paper and you say, "That's Andrew McBride. We just saw him earlier today. He's in the asylum still." And so you know that he is still locked in the asylum after these 25 long years.
This very day.
As I say, you said McBride. Man. Whew.
Yeah. So I relay that information.
Andrew McBride. Isn't that fella that Johnny Boy's uncle?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating what you said. But
In a more entertaining tone.
is she going on with that asylum?
So as
I was gonna say, does he look like he's 25 years older, or
he looks probably even worse than that. He looks like he's been through it. Like when he, in the past, he looks at least healthy, well taken care of, and now he looks in bad shape.
And he's in the picture.
In the picture, holding one of the pieces of the obelisk or the obsidian disc.
Disc. Wait, is the disc and the obelisk two different things?
There's no obelisk. If I said that, I said the wrong word. It's just an obsidian disc. Yeah.
Okay.
So what you have kind of pieced together, I think at this point, Philip, with your book, as you guys have made this timeline, is that Dr. Hawthorne originally settled, or Judge Hawthorne originally settled the area. He pushed out all the natives and built the asylum. Horrible accidents. Dr. Shine takes a hold and he builds the amphitheater where they discover this disc. The disc is then put on display, and magically the accidents and the murders, or the accidents and the fatalities stop. And then that has continued to go on as he's patched the torch down to Dr. Berger. So yeah.
So, okay. When they were doing the construction for the amphitheater, it was under Shine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and we thought he was a nice one. Okay.
So, yeah. So if you guys would like to make, if you guys feel good about that, that is fine. You can keep on investigating. It's probably getting late though at this point. It might be time to, go home to your families, etc. So
I don't know if Cyrus wants to go home to his kids.
I'll probably be like, listen, Johnny boy, it's getting pretty late here. We probably gotta get you home soon, right?
Yeah. My mom's probably worried sick.
Yeah, Miss, what's your mom's name?
Just call her, I forgot to write down the last name. Hold on. Just call her Miss Jones if you want.
Yeah, Miss Jones. I'm sure she's getting pretty worried sick about you, Mr. Johnny boy. We can probably take you home, and then we'll go ahead and regroup this investigation. Silas over here will come by and pick you up, and then we go ahead and meet again. But after that,
the police are picking him up.
It's important business, all right?
Field
Johnny
trip.
boy.
Anyway, just don't park in front of my house, Mr. Silas. I don't need people thinking I'm a snitch.
Hey, he's got a point. He ain't no snitch.
Yeah.
Johnny boy ain't no snitch, ain't that right?
I'll meet you nearby. In the morning, Mr. Silas.
So Silas, or not Silas, Alistair, you are getting back into your car, correct?
Yes, I'm taking Johnny boy, lighting up a cigarette.
Okay, so as you and Johnny get into the car, you start the car and the car is not turning over. It just is. It's not working. So you get out of the car and try to check and see what's wrong.
I'm gonna pop the hood and be like, hey, "That's an engine, all right."
I'm
gonna wipe. Johnny boy, come on! Let's go get the copper fella. I think he knows how to work on cars, right? Isn't that what he said?
I do. I know how to drive cars. So I get over there. Yeah.
Copper, don't you know how to work on these cars?
He gets over and he looks at it. And, yeah. Do I see anything like wrong or?
You're looking at it and nothing looks wrong. You're like, I think, this looks all fine in here. I don't see any issues. So I think you would instruct Alistair to get back in the car.
Yeah.
To try again. So as Alistair, gets back into the car, he reaches up to adjust his mirrors first. And as he does, he sees somebody in the back seat. And as he does, he turns around and he sees that nobody's there. And he goes and he still is fixing his mirror. He's quite shaken. And there's still a person back there. So he is pretending like it's all normal as he starts to turn over his ignition again, and it's not working. So what do you do in this case?
Do I make it inaudible or noticeable reaction, or am I playing it cool?
It's up to you.
Oh, it's up to me?
Like,
Then I wasn't sure then. If I would adjust the mirror, what the hell? And I'm like, and then I try to adjust my mirror again, and I'm like, is there anybody in the car with me?
And Johnny might be in the car. I'm not
Johnny,
sure if
are you with me in the car?
Yeah.
Do you want to be in the car, Johnny?
I need the
Johnny. Get in the damn car.
And
leave me alone, Johnny. 12-year-old boy that's shaped like a giant.
You still don't see anybody, but you can feel cold hands wrap around the left side of your neck and Johnny the right side of his neck as a head pulls forward, and in a very soft whisper you hear, "The obelisk requires your blood." And then like that you can feel something pulling on your neck, but then it's gone.
Alistair, turn it over.
And I didn't even hear that. He says it like several times because I'm like freaked out. I'm like, what the?
And so both Johnny and Alistair will make sanity rolls.
Hooray!
And then,
Hear what I tell you about. Talk about those chupacabras.
and then chupacabras.
Chupacabras.
So I need
And then someone else appears in your backseat and says,
Stop it.
I got 31.
Is it a pass or a fail?
I think that's a pass because I got 39 for my sanity. So is that a pass?
Yep. So then you'll take 0 points of damage, just sanity damage.
Johnny has failed.
So you're going to roll a d2 for sanity.
So D4, and then 1 or 2 is 1 damage, and then 3 and 4 is
No, 2.
So you'll detect that then. And yeah, you can go back to role playing this scene.
And then, holy Johnny boy, did you see what the hell?
Someone gave me a wet wheelie.
What the? I'm like, anybody? Philip, y'all see that?
Philip's here.
Hey, you're here. I'm making you here, Philip.
I'm gonna make you here, Philip.
Make you here, Philip. Philip, y'all see that?
Silas didn't see it, so he's just.
I don't see nothing. What are you doing in the car, boy?
Fucking
Well, there's-
turn your car over. He said, "Wait."
Oh, my bad, sir. I just start turning the car.
Is it
Well,
still, does it turn on?
That's a
yet?
problem. You got
And then-
pigeon coo as your engine.
And now the engine turns over, as though whatever was plaguing it is now gone.
And I was like, I'm like thoroughly freaked out, and I'm probably like, what the hell just happened? There was a thing in the back, and it grabbed my neck, and
Get the back.
y'all didn't see that?
Ain't nothing in the back of the car now. Yeah, he's fucking trying to.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Silas comes over and goes, "Mr. Alistair, I don't know what's wrong with your car, but I don't know what you thought was wrong, but it's fine. Rolled over just great."
I don't know what just happened.
You need a drink?
Johnny, let's get you home.
You need a drink before you go?
You just take it
Drinking
with
and
you.
driving's totally fine.
Yeah, I
he
just
brings
take
us-
my whiskey and my smoke and just driving down the road.
It's 1940, dude. There's no.
It's 1940.
The sheriff gave it to you, for Christ's sake. He's like, who's gonna pull me over?
Let me get a swig of that before I head on out.
Yeah.
I'll probably just like freaked out. Obviously, yeah. Look at Johnny. See if Johnny's okay, but I'm.
It's been a long night.
It's been a long night. Let's go home. I don't know what just happened. And then I'll probably smoke, light of my cigarette, my glass of whiskey, and then start on the ride home unless Philip or Silas have anything else to say.
I'm not going with you, but I think Philip would be, intrigued into the drawing and the fact that we are investigating something that has the obsidian disc that they didn't make a big deal of. So I want to see, is it too late to go spend some time collecting, because I know we can't just research on our technology, but I want to do a little more research into the night to see if I can find out any more information on what type of disc that was, or the crew and how they got it.
So I think the Peabody Institute and the local hospital would both be open late into the night. You would have access to the institute because you are military, so you can look things up late at night. And then the hospital is just open all the time as well. So you can go to either of those places to look up more information.
I think
I'm not gonna lie, the mat thing kind of scared me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's scared people walking in.
You just
see him back there.
Like
he's not listening. He's on his shoulder. I think I would still go back to the Peabody to do schematic checks and see what type of information we can pull from there about the obelisk, and possibly about if there were records from the accidents, more information, hey, we closed this wing, or maybe if there was something that the military helped with, to see if we supplied any of the heavy machinery or something. I don't know how much free reign you have over the narration of the story. It's just
or
it could be better.
You've probably about exhausted any information about the obelisk or the construction of the hospital. It was done basically really before the military had arrived in Alamogordo, because that's a relatively new choice. So it's kind of long past history for the library. I would say probably you would want to follow up a lead at the hospital more so.
So then he is interested in the OSHA violations that took place.
Researching accidents more so at that route. So you head over to the Alamogordo Hospital, which is also just you're shocked that there is even a hospital in Alamogordo. It's so small. And really, it's just kind of like a doctor and a nurse who are, kind of switch off in being in the building. And so you see, it's not super late yet, but it is late at night. So when you walk in, you see a nurse at the front desk, and she kind of pops up because she must think that there's, oh, sir, are you okay? Because most people don't walk into the hospital that late.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to startle you there. I'm just looking for some information. Is there a secretary or a doctor around?
Well, the doctor, he's already kind of sleeping for the night. So if it's something I can help you with, that'd be great. But what are you looking for information on?
A little historical inquiry. We have a project we're working on at the base, and we needed some of the information on the asylum. We were wondering what type of safety procedures they had. I know they had quite a run-in with a lot of accidents involving some of the patients years back.
Yes, actually. I don't have really any particular information, but I do have something that I think I might be of interest. And she kind of starts, looking around and patting around, and she was like, I had something interesting dropped off a couple of years ago. It was old notes from Dr. Shan, actually. And she kind of goes in the back and she starts looking for them. And she kind of comes back and she pulls out some handwritten notes. And she goes, and I will drop them off. But she says that kind of unusual, but for some reason the asylum didn't want these anymore, and we just kind of kept them, kind of for historical record. They're from the 1890s, so that's pretty, 50 years. That's some good information to have.
Of course.
And she was like, but nobody's been doing anything with them. And so one more. So these are the letters that she pulls out. So the first one is dated June 2nd, 1890.
I think you only sent it to me on accident.
Oh, did I? Oops.
Yeah.
The absolute worst.
That's what happens when he asks questions. Like, I remember what I said to him in the car.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to remember what you said to me in the car?
I don't know, but I can't remember either. Something.
Mm-hmm.
Car.
I need to obsess about it. That's why.
Need to obsess about it.
Okay, so June 2nd, 1890. The troubles afflicting the asylum run deep and are of a kind my esteemed colleagues would never accept as part of a rational, orderly universe. Indeed, if I were to communicate my convictions to my peers, I would find myself consigned to these very walls as patient, not administrator. However, I have seen these problems before in my travels and must act swiftly. The thing, aware of my suspicions, has moved against me, but I have spoken the words of protection that I learned so long ago in the in that queer ancient city, and so far have been safe. I must find Hawthorne's disc, and soon, so as to lay down that thing which torments all here, twisting already damaged and vulnerable minds. Hawthorne had the disc removed, thinking it a pagan symbol of heathen spirit worship. What a terrible mistake by a zealous preacher! Heaven grant that I find the disc, and if found, that it will restrain the thing that which moves against us all on Hawthorne Hill. November 12th, 1890. I have found Hawthorne's disc. It is, as I suspected, an ancient sign from elder times, a ward against that which lairs in the very earth and air of the hill. Mercifully, the disc has weathered, and the years and neglect remarkably well. The sigil etched upon its surface is as clear as the day it was placed there. But by whose hands? Best not to dwell on such aeolian mysteries. My task now is to install it once more upon the hill, restraining that which, like others of its kin, is inimical to who have inherited its world. December 3rd, 1890. It is done. The sigil has been placed upon the earth, forcing down that which layers upon the hill into an uneasy torpor. The taxpayers questioned the expense of having such a useless decorative piece installed at the asylum, but they pose no serious threat to its removal and are mercifully unaware of its true purpose. But to those who know, the sign shall serve as a ward for now and the future. Already I see signs of recovering in the patients and staff, as if they are surfacing from a long waking nightmare. May 7th, 1915. I have met with my successor. Dr. James Berger seems a cheerful and capable young fellow. Noting his active characters, I have admonished the young doctor to never remove the disc that lies at the edge of the reservoir upon the hill. Will he heed my words? It was impossible to impart to him the true reason for planting the disc all those long years ago. I had to fabricate reasons of sentimentality to impress upon him the importance of leaving the disc unmolested. I pray that he will remember his promise to leave the disc undisturbed.
I'm a Lester. How old does the secretary look?
She looks probably young, like maybe in like her mid to late 20s.
So there's no way that she would know Shine.
She, no, she probably didn't know Shine.
He's old. And she hands these over. And, yes.
Oh, as you, as she handed them over to you, she actually left, to go make a cup of coffee and asked if you wanted any. Would you like a cup of coffee, sir? And as she goes, she leaves the room, and you will begin to read what we just read. And as you finish, you notice that a man is kind of waiting in the waiting area, kind of like the emergency room section, to waiting for the to be seen by the doctor. And he's just kind of looking at you. And you start to feel uncomfortable because he's like really looking at you.
You all right there, sir? She just ran to get a cup of coffee. Need me to help you with anything? You feeling all right?
And he has kind of like a newspaper with the headline about Alistair's overbite.
I knew I liked this guy. You want to become best friends?
Yeah. And he kind of closes his newspaper and kind of rolls it up, and he kind of slaps it onto his leg, and he's like, I've been noticing you've been kind of asking a lot of questions today.
Inquisitive minds, rather. Very mechanical and need to know how things work. Is there a problem with asking questions?
Well, they don't really seem like military questions now, do they? And he starts to stand up, and you notice that he is a big man.
Well, we do a lot of things with unseen objectives for the military, and my regiment specifically. We need to keep our true intent somewhat concealed so that the enemy doesn't get a hold of our information and beat us to the punch.
That's real interesting, sir. I'm going to tell you something, though. Nothing up there has to do with your work. And I do recommend you stop investigating right now. And with that, he kind of has his newspaper, and he kind of taps you like on the shoulder, and he's like, now you do well to keep this to yourself, sir. And as he does that, he kind of, you like glance down at the newspaper, and when you look back up, he's gone. And so yeah, that's what happens at the hospital.
Yeah, I don't think I would wait for my cup of coffee. I would probably leave.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
So that is it for that. I know we probably want to finish this, but I'm going to stop for the night because I think we're at a good place before we start the next act.
Give us a little sign off, Mojo.
Thank you everybody for playing my first Call of Cthulhu one shot. We will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
See ya.